Investment has often been about making as large a profit as possible, but what about the social imperative? What comes when choosing your money, where to put it? Enter impact investing. It's been mooted as a way to invest capital to address social and environmental issues. Situkulu Social Investments, Sibona Kaliso Mavuka joins us now to discuss how impact investing is developing in South Africa and what lies ahead for 2020. Very good morning to you.
Morning, Jane.
I really enjoyed researching this story because it kind of makes you feel good even just reading about it.
No, it's very interesting.
Tell us what impact investing is all about.
So impact investing is about investing with the intention to generate both environmental and social returns alongside financial returns as well. So we've seen it grow quite a lot, started in the US and developed markets, but has currently moved into the developing world as well, with South Africa being, I think, the largest in Southern Africa, at about in 2016, at about $5 billion US.
Why do you think there has been this move to take this angle?
One of the things we encourage it at Chikululu, in the sense that, you know, that development gap currently for us to be able to match the Sustainable Development Goals 2030, we need about 2.5 to 3 trillion US dollars per year to be pumped into that. But we know that our governments don't have that kind of money, as well as the philanthropic foundations that are there. So the one other sector that has quite a lot of money to spare is the investment sector. And with millennials becoming more conscious and your wealthy individuals as well wanting to be more active in the development of countries, we've seen the move towards them wanting to actually know where their money goes and what impact that money has.
Okay, so me, the investor, what would I do?
So you could go to so most of the institutions, I don't want to call them by name, but most of the pension fund managers, your fund managers actually have the options of impact investing within their asset classes. So a lot of them, obviously in South Africa, we know that jobs are a big problem. So a lot of them target jobs, but in sustainable agriculture as well, how do we get your emerging farmers, your emerging black farmers into the value chain of greater agriculture? We've seen it in the health sector, we've seen it in the education sector with the proliferation of low-fee private schooling. We've also seen it in the environmental sector through your conservation and tourism industry, as well as your green and renewable energy.
And is it making money? So
it is, actually. Depending on where you sit. So when we classify impact investors, we talk about your impact first investor and your finance first investor. So a finance first investor would be yourself in a pension fund where fiduciary duties is required that the pension fund trustees actually get you the required returns financially. So there you'd find that the fund managers would be looking at beating the market, would be looking at market adjusted returns, whereas on the other side you will have philanthropic foundations that are also working in the space. A lot of our clients as Chikululu, who are actually foundations that are owned by your multi-corporates, work in the space as well. So they might just want their capital back. So they don't want to make a huge profit out of it, but they want their capital back in order to recycle it back into the sector. As well as in terms of foundations, you might find that they want to prove to the market that this market actually works, because as investors, you actually look at the risk, and especially if it's uncharted waters, you want somebody to come in, whether it be a development finance institution or a foundation, to actually prove to you that it works. So that's where foundations would come in, or in terms of blended finance, where they would provide a grant fund in order to catalyze the private sector to come in and fund things. But so between those two, depending on where you sit, your risk or your returns will run according to that. So a finance first impact investor will be the one to have your risk-adjusted returns or beat market returns, actually. And a recent report has actually said that I think 66% of your impact investors globally are actually making a return on what they're doing. So it's not just airy-fairy sector that people want to feel good about, but it's actually
and what do people say about getting involved in something like this from a sort of emotional point of view?
They love it. We're seeing a huge growth in South Africa. South Africa is actually becoming a global player. This year we are hosting, as South Africa, the GSG Impact Investing Summit in Johannesburg in September. So that should be interesting. We are currently sitting in all the forums globally as well. We also have the task force for impact investing in South Africa, which I think is the first one in Africa for an African country. So we are growing. It is a growing sector, and increasingly our clients are asking about this new phenomenon of impact investing, both our social and foundation.
Thank you for coming in and talking to us about it.
Thank you very much.
Sounds
Thank you for having me.
very positive. We like that.